You've visualized, you've affirmed, you've written in your gratitude journal, created your vision board, and even faced and dissolved your mental blocks. You've tuned into higher frequencies, let go of control, followed your intuition, and found joy in the present. Yet somehow, the manifestation hasn't arrived. The dream still feels like it's hovering just outside your reach. If you've done all the inner work and the reality hasn't shifted, it's time to uncover the most overlooked step in the process, the one that bridges the invisible with the visible, the energetic with the physical. That step is inspired action. Today, we dive into this final key that completes the manifestation cycle and grounds your desires into tangible results. But first, let's remember where we are in this journey. In the last video, we explored how the law of attraction goes far beyond surface-level goals. It's not just about material abundance or ticking off achievement boxes. It's about creating a life aligned with your soul's purpose, finding fulfillment in the now, and allowing your deeper desires to guide your path. You learn to listen to inner nudges, trust your instincts, and surrender the need to control every outcome. You discovered that happiness and alignment aren't destinations, but vibrations we embody. However, while alignment is the fuel, it's not the car. The universe is a co-creative force, but it doesn't act in your place. You are not just a magnet, you're also a mover, a vessel through which energy flows into form. This is the part many people miss. They meditate, they journal, they visualize for months or even years, wondering why nothing is shifting. They begin to question themselves, their worth, or even the entire process. The truth is, manifestation is not a passive process. The law of attraction responds to frequency, yes, but it also requires motion, purposeful, inspired motion. So, what exactly is inspired action, and how is it different from forced effort? Inspired action is not hustle. It's not pushing. It's not chasing results out of fear, pressure, or scarcity. Inspired action feels aligned. It feels intuitive, often spontaneous, like a soft inner whisper nudging you to do something, say something, or go somewhere. It doesn't always make logical sense, but it resonates with truth. It might be a call to sign up for that class you've been putting off, to message someone you've been thinking about, to start a project without knowing how it will end, or to say no to something that no longer aligns. Inspired action is rooted in trust, not urgency. It is born from clarity, not confusion. It arises when your energy is in sync with your intention. And when you follow that nudge, the universe often meets you halfway or even more. Doors begin to open. Opportunities you couldn't plan appear. Seemingly random encounters unfold into perfect timing. This is the dance of co-creation, and it cannot happen without your willingness to step forward. Too many people wait for the perfect moment. They wait until they feel ready, until they know every detail, until all the fear disappears. But the truth is, clarity often comes through action, not before it. Taking the first step, however small, sends a signal, not just to the universe, but to your subconscious that you are serious about your vision. You are no longer just wishing. You are committing, and that commitment is magnetic. Think of it like electricity. Your desire is the current, your belief is the voltage, but your action is the switch. Until you flip the switch, the circuit is incomplete. Nothing moves. No light turns on. No power flows. And yet, when you do flip that switch, even if it's imperfect, even if it's messy, the current comes alive. The manifestation process accelerates. Things align. This video is your invitation to flip the switch, to go from dreaming to doing, from intending to acting, from waiting to creating. Because while mindset and energy are foundational, they are incomplete without movement. And the beautiful part? Inspired action doesn't require you to have it all figured out. It doesn't need a 10-step plan or a perfect roadmap. It simply asks you to respond to what feels true, what feels alive, what pulls at your curiosity. And every step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum. Momentum becomes confidence. Confidence becomes clarity. Clarity becomes embodiment. And embodiment is the ultimate frequency. So if you've been doing all the right things energetically, and yet still feel stuck, ask yourself this: what action have I been avoiding? What nudge have I been ignoring? What idea keeps returning to me that I haven't pursued? Because chances are, that's the step that will unlock the next level. That's the universe tapping you on the shoulder, saying, move, trust, go. Remember, the law of attraction is not just about what you think, feel, or believe. It's also about what you do. Not out of desperation, but out of alignment. Not from panic, but from presence. This is the final piece of the puzzle. This is what turns vibration into reality. Today, you'll learn how to recognize inspired action, how to separate it from forced effort, and how to take bold steps even when you feel uncertain. Because waiting is a habit, and action is a choice. And the life you want is not waiting somewhere far away. It's waiting on the other side of your willingness to act. So let's make that shift now. Let's go from intention to impact, from inner alignment to outer expression, from energy to embodiment. This is your time. This is your invitation, and it begins today. Inspired action is the bridge between thought and reality. It's the missing ingredient that transforms your inner vision into a living, breathing experience. When people speak about the law of attraction, they often focus on mindset, energy, and belief systems. And yes, those are vital, but none of it truly manifests until action enters the scene. Not just any action that is aligned, intuitive, and deeply resonant. This is what we call inspired action. So what exactly is inspired action, and how does it differ from effort for the sake of movement? Inspired action is the kind of step you feel pulled to take, not because someone told you to do it, not because you're following a formula, and not because you're panicking to make something happen. It's an internal signal, a nudge, a gentle but clear knowing. It comes from a place of trust, not pressure. It feels like clarity even when the outcome is unknown. It often doesn't make perfect sense on paper, but it resonates with your heart. You feel it in your body. You feel a sense of aliveness, of this just feels right. That feeling is not random. It's a direct communication from the universe, guiding you toward alignment and flow. Inspired action is how the law of attraction speaks through you. It is how the unseen becomes seen, how intention moves into the world of form. The reason inspired action matters is because thought alone is incomplete. You can dream all day. You can affirm your desires, visualize your future, raise your vibration. But until you take a step in the direction of that vision, nothing moves. The universe responds to energy, yes, but it also responds to commitment. Inspired action is a declaration. It says, I am ready. I am open. I am willing. It tells your subconscious mind that you are no longer just thinking about change, you are choosing it. You are participating. And when you take inspired action, it sets off a chain reaction. New opportunities begin to show up. Conversations shift. Synchronicities increase. You meet the right person at the right time. You get the idea you've been waiting for. Or you stumble across the exact resource you needed without even looking. This is not coincidence. It is the result of energy and movement aligning in perfect harmony. Inspired action is different for everyone, and it doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as making a phone call, writing down a thought, or saying no to something that no longer fits your vision. What matters most is that it comes from your inner guidance, not your fear. It's a step toward expansion, not escape. It honors your truth, not your doubt. And when you act from that place, the results are often greater than you imagined. Because now, you are not just thinking about what you want, you are becoming the version of yourself who lives. And that shift is everything. Action is not separate from the manifestation process. It is not an optional bonus or an afterthought. In the context of the law of attraction, action plays a vital and irreplaceable role. It is the bridge between your inner world and the outer world. It is the way energy moves from your thoughts, emotions, and intentions into physical expression. Without action, your desires remain suspended in the realm of possibility. With action, they begin to take form in the realm of reality. Think of it this way. Your thoughts create the blueprint. Your emotions energize that blueprint. Your belief holds the structure in place. But your actions are what bring that structure to life. Without movement, even the most beautiful vision stays locked inside your mind. The law of attraction responds not just to what you think and feel, but also to what you do in alignment with those thoughts and feelings. Action is how you show the universe that you are ready, that you are committed, that you are not just wishing for something, but actively creating space for it to arrive. When you take inspired action, you send a powerful signal into the energetic field. That signal says, I believe, I trust, I am making room. It's not about controlling how or when your desire will show up. It's about meeting the universe halfway with openness and momentum. This creates a dynamic of co-creation. You become an active participant in your reality, not just an observer. And that shift changes everything. Action also grounds your energy. Sometimes when you're focused solely on visualizing or meditating, it's easy to drift into a state of waiting. You feel connected, but you're not anchoring that energy into motion. Action is the grounding rod. It brings the frequency of your desire down into physical time and space. It roots your intention. It gives it structure. And that structure becomes the foundation for manifestation. Another reason action is so important is because it creates space. When you move in the direction of your desires, even with small steps, you open doors, you clear energetic clutter, you make room in your life, in your schedule, in your heart. That space becomes the invitation for something new to enter. For example, if you want to attract love, you might begin by taking action. That aligns with being in a loving relationship. That could mean making room in your calendar, decluttering your environment, or engaging in activities that light you up. These may seem like small actions, but energetically, they are huge. They tell the universe, I am preparing. I am available. I am aligning. The same applies to finances, health, career, or creativity. Your actions demonstrate your willingness to receive. They show that you are not just asking, you are becoming. That becoming is what activates the magnetic pull of manifestation. It's also important to understand that action doesn't override belief. You cannot force results through sheer effort if your energy is still rooted in doubt or lack. But when your energy is aligned, action becomes a magnifier. It multiplies the signal you are sending out. It accelerates the response from the field around you. Because now, your energy and your movement are in harmony. They are dancing together. They are speaking the same language. The universe responds to that coherence with synchronicity, with clarity, and with momentum. Taking action also builds confidence. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in yourself. It tells your subconscious mind that you are capable, that you are consistent, that you are following through. This strengthens your inner foundation. It deepens your alignment. It makes you more resilient in the face of challenges. Because even when things take time, you're no longer passive. You're empowered. You're engaged. You're growing. And from that space, results begin to unfold more naturally. You're not waiting, you're walking. You're not hoping, you're becoming. You're not just dreaming, you're demonstrating. That shift in identity is what the law of attraction truly responds to. One of the greatest misunderstandings about the law of attraction is the belief that you can just think your way into a new reality. While thought is powerful, it must be followed by aligned movement. Otherwise, it becomes fantasy. Fantasy has no roots. Manifestation requires roots, and action is what anchors those roots in place. It gives your vision weight. It makes your desires tangible. It invites reality to shape itself around your intentions. Think of action as the canvas upon which your energy paints the picture of your life. Without the canvas, the paint has nowhere to land. It stays in the air, swirling with potential, but never taking form. When you act, you lay down the canvas. You create the structure for energy to crystallize. You become the architect of your own experience. And every choice you make becomes a brushstroke on the masterpiece of your life. This is not about taking massive action all at once. It's about taking meaningful steps that align with your energy. Steps that feel true, that reflect your belief, that honor your intention. Even a small action taken with clarity and trust can open a doorway to something extraordinary. What matters is that you act from alignment, not from panic. That you move with purpose, not with pressure. That you say yes to what feels inspired and no to what drains your light. That is the art of conscious manifestation. That is the role of action in the law of attraction. It is not to fix your life. It is to express the frequency you already hold. It is to embody the reality you've already imagined. And in doing so, you become the living proof of your own power. So the next time you receive an intuitive nudge, follow it. When an idea lights you up, act on it. When an opportunity aligns with your vision, say yes. These are not random moments. These are invitations from the universe to step into alignment with what is already yours. Action is the language of commitment. It speaks louder than words, louder than thoughts, louder than even belief alone. It is the final bridge between the invisible and the visible. And when you cross that bridge with clarity and intention, you activate the full potential of the law of attraction. You stop waiting for life to happen. You begin creating it from the inside out. One of the most powerful ways to recognize inspired action is by learning to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is not a vague feeling or a mystical force reserved for a select few. It is a built-in guidance system that communicates through subtle feelings, sudden insights, and gentle nudges. When working with the law of attraction, your intuition becomes your most trusted ally. It is the voice of alignment. It is how the universe speaks directly to you, pointing you toward the next step that will bring your desires closer to form. These signals often come in unexpected moments. You may be taking a walk and suddenly feel a strong pull to call someone. You might wake up with a clear idea that feels urgent yet exciting. You might hear the same message repeatedly through books, songs, or conversations. These are not coincidences. These are intuitive cues. When you are aligned with your intention, the universe begins to orchestrate your path. And your intuition is the channel through which that orchestration is received. It doesn't always arrive with loud clarity. Often, it's a quiet knowing, a subtle inner push that says, do this, try that, go here. You may not understand why, but you feel it. You feel a sense of rightness, like a door slightly open, inviting you in. That's what inspired action feels like. It's not forced. It's not chaotic. It flows from a place of calm certainty. This is why presence is so important. If your mind is constantly racing or you're overwhelmed by outside noise, these intuitive signals can be easy to miss. That's why taking a moment to pause and listen is such a powerful practice. You don't need to meditate for hours. Sometimes all it takes is 5 minutes of stillness, 5 minutes of closing your eyes, placing your hand over your heart, and asking one simple question. What is the next inspired step I'm being called to take? Then wait, breathe, listen. Don't rush. Don't force an answer. Let it rise naturally. You may get a word. You may get an image. You may feel a sudden sense of clarity. Or you may feel nothing at all in the moment, only to notice an answer appearing later in your day. The key is to ask from a space of openness, not urgency. You're not demanding a sign. You're inviting guidance. And when you ask with trust, guidance always comes. The next step is to honor what you receive. Too often, people dismiss intuitive nudges because they seem small or unrelated. You may think, why would calling that person matter? Why would signing up for that class make a difference? But your intuition sees further than your logic. It knows how everything connects. It knows that one small action can lead to a major breakthrough, that a simple yes can redirect your entire trajectory, that behind the smallest door may be the opportunity you've been asking for. When you honor those nudges, you align yourself with flow. You step into co-creation. You stop trying to force outcomes and start dancing with the energy that surrounds you. And in that dance, synchronicities become normal. The right people show up. The timing feels perfect. The path unfolds with surprising ease. This is not about avoiding action. It's about taking the right action at the right time for the right reason. Inspired action is rooted in alignment, and alignment begins with listening. So here's a practice you can do today. Set aside 5 quiet minutes. Turn off your phone. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply and slowly. Feel yourself grounded in the present moment. Then ask gently, either silently or aloud, what is the next inspired step for me to take? Ask it with curiosity, not pressure. Ask it with openness, not expectation. And then listen. You may feel a surge of emotion. You may recall something you forgot. You may hear a word or see an image. Whatever comes, receive it with gratitude. Write it down if you feel called to. If no answer comes right away, trust that it will reveal itself soon. Sometimes clarity arrives after the question has been asked, when your mind is no longer trying to control it. Be willing to be surprised. Inspired action is often inconvenient to the logical mind, but perfectly timed for your soul. You might be guided to take a break, go outside, talk to a stranger, or revisit an idea you once set aside. Trust that your inner guidance is always working in your favor. As you strengthen this muscle, it becomes easier. The more you act on your intuition, the louder and clearer it becomes. It's like tuning into a radio station. At first, the signal might be faint, but with consistency, it sharpens. You begin to recognize the difference between a passing thought and a true intuitive pull. And you begin to trust yourself on a deeper level. This is how you become a magnet for aligned opportunities. Not by doing more, but by tuning in and responding to what's real for you. The law of attraction works most powerfully when your energy, your intention, and your action are all in harmony. Intuition is the translator between those worlds. It's the inner compass that keeps you aligned, even when the outside world is uncertain. When you take inspired action based on that inner knowing, you stop chasing. You start allowing. You stop struggling. You start flowing. You stop asking when it will happen and start becoming the version of yourself for whom it already has. Every inspired step is a signal to the universe. It says, I am ready. I am open. I trust. And that trust is magnetic. That openness is magnetic. That willingness to act from intuition rather than fear, that is the difference between effort and embodiment. So today, give yourself the gift of quiet. Ask the question. Listen for the answer. And when the nudge comes, Honor it. No matter how small, no matter how strange, no matter how simple. That one step could be the spark that sets everything in motion. And with each inspired action, you are not just moving toward your desires. You are moving as the version of you who already lives them. As you begin to align your energy with your intentions and open yourself to inspired action, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to notice signs and opportunities. These are the universe's way of guiding you forward, of showing you the path, often in subtle and surprising ways. When working with the law of attraction, it's easy to believe that the answers will come only during meditation, visualization, or journaling. But the truth is, the universe speaks through life itself. It sends messages not just within, but all around you. These messages often appear as synchronicities, those magical moments when everything seems to align in perfect timing. Perhaps you're thinking about starting a new project, and within hours, you receive a text from someone offering support. Maybe you've been contemplating a career shift, and then you randomly meet someone who works in the exact field you've been considering. Or maybe you keep hearing the same phrase, the same book title, the same opportunity mentioned by different people at different times. These are not random events. These are signs. These are breadcrumbs on your path, gently nudging you to look closer, to follow the trail, to take the next inspired step. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your connection with the law of attraction is to become a conscious observer of your reality. This means paying attention to what repeats, what surprises you, and what opens unexpectedly. If something catches your attention more than once, it's likely not just a coincidence. Repetition is often how the universe emphasizes something important. You might see a word on a billboard, then hear it in a podcast, then read it in a book, all in the same week. Pay attention. If you've been asking for clarity, these recurring messages could be your answer. Likewise, be aware of unexpected openings. Sometimes, an opportunity shows up in a form you didn't anticipate. It might not look exactly like what you imagined, but it holds the vibration of what you've been asking for. Maybe you thought your breakthrough would come through one path, but it arrives through another. Maybe you had your heart set on a specific plan, and then something even better appears. Do not ignore these moments. Doors that open easily are not accidents. They are invitations. They are energetic alignments made visible. When you walk through them, you demonstrate trust. You say yes to flow. And that yes carries power. But in order to say yes, you must be present enough to recognize what's being offered. That's why awareness is essential. The more mindful you become of your surroundings, the easier it is to catch the cues that are meant for you. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to feel into opportunities rather than just analyze them. Your mind becomes quieter, your intuition sharper, and your ability to respond increases. This is what turns manifestation from a concept into a living experience. Another sign to watch for is how your body responds. When something is aligned, your body often reacts before your mind does. You might feel excitement, warmth, a sudden burst of energy, or a sense of calm certainty. These are your internal confirmations. They are physical signals that your energy is resonating with what's in front of you. In contrast, if something feels forced, heavy, or draining, even if it looks good on paper, that's a cue to pause. Not every opportunity is your opportunity. Not every open door is meant for you to walk through. But when the right door appears, you'll know it not just with your mind, but with your entire being. Your job is to stay tuned in, to remain open, and to respond when the moment feels right. You don't need to chase signs. You don't need to search for clues in everything. Just hold the intention that you are open to guidance and trust that what you need will find you. Then move through your day with curiosity. Let life surprise you. Be willing to pivot when something unexpected resonates. Be willing to release your attachment to how things should unfold. The more flexible you are, the more available you become to receive. One powerful practice is to keep a signs journal. At the end of each day, write down any synchronicities you experienced, any patterns you noticed, or any opportunities that caught your attention. Over time, you'll begin to see the connections. You'll recognize how the universe has been, weaving a path for you, one small signal at a time. This practice deepens your faith. It helps you remember that you are never alone in this process. You are being guided, supported, and shown the way. But that way is not always loud or obvious. It requires your awareness. It requires your willingness to slow down and notice. It requires you to live as both the creator and the receiver. When you combine intentional energy with receptive attention, the law of attraction begins to unfold in the most elegant ways. Opportunities arise that feel tailor-made for you. Conversations become doorways. Ideas become direction. And moments you once ignored reveal themselves to be turning points. That is the power of noticing. That is the power of staying open. So the next time you hear the same message twice, meet someone who sparks something inside you, or stumble upon something that makes you stop and say, wow, don't brush it off. Take a moment, tune in. Ask yourself, is this a sign? Does this align with what I've been asking for? What action can I take from this? And then, if it feels right, act. Take the step. Follow the pull. Say yes. Because the universe is not shouting. It's whispering. And those whispers carry everything you've been asking for. You just have to hear them. You just have to trust them. And most importantly, you have to respond. That is where the magic lives. One of the greatest misunderstandings about the law of attraction is the idea that action must always be big, traumatic, or life-changing to be effective. The truth is, inspired action often starts small. It begins with the little things. A single message, a curious click, a moment of research, a call you've been putting off. And yet, that small step holds immense power. It is the seed from which greater momentum grows. You do not need to overhaul your entire life in one moment. You do not need to quit your job, sell your house, or reinvent yourself overnight. You simply need to move. You simply need to say yes to one inspired action and let that yes carry you to the next. Manifestation is not a leap. It is a rhythm of energy, attention, and aligned movement. When you begin with something manageable, you remove the pressure that often comes with big decisions. You create a sense of progress that builds confidence. And confidence creates clarity. That clarity then fuels the next action. And the cycle continues. It becomes a flow. And flow is where all powerful creation begins. Imagine you've been feeling called to start a creative project. The thought excites you, but also overwhelms you. You wonder where to begin. So you stay still, unsure. But then one day, you feel a nudge to write a few ideas in a notebook. Nothing big, just a few lines. That is inspired action. The next day, you feel a pull to research something related to your idea. That's another small step. Then maybe you send an email, join a group, make a call. With each step, you are no longer just thinking about your vision, you are living. Inside it, you are showing up for it. You are saying yes to its reality. And the more you say yes, the more energy builds behind your intention. The universe meets you with opportunities, people, and clarity. But it all started with something small. This is how momentum works. It does not need to be forced. It simply needs to be invited. Small steps allow you to bypass resistance. They feel safer to the nervous system. They allow your subconscious to adjust and adapt without fear. They say, I am trying. I am leaning in. I am available. That availability becomes a magnet, a signal, a doorway. You do not need to have it all figured out to take action. In fact, you gain clarity by doing, not by overthinking. The action reveals the path. Each step uncovers the next. And with every movement, you align deeper with the version of yourself who already lives what you desire. This is not about pushing. It is about allowing. It is about starting where you are with what you have, from the space of trust. You can begin by cleaning your space, organizing your schedule, setting a boundary, or speaking the truth. You can begin by making a list, having a conversation, exploring a topic, or asking for help. These actions may seem simple, but their impact is profound, because when done from a place of alignment, they carry the full weight of your intention. They are not random. They are not wasted. They are rooted in presence and purpose. One email could lead to a collaboration. One call could open a door. One moment of research could inspire a breakthrough. But you will never know unless you take the step. The law of attraction does not require perfection. It requires participation. It asks that you meet the frequency of your desires with movement. Not grand, flawless movement, but honest, consistent movement. Think of energy like a river. When the current is blocked, nothing flows. But when you take a small action, it's like lifting a stone from the path. Suddenly, the current moves again. Ideas begin to flow. Emotions rise. Possibilities emerge. All because you said yes to something small. And the best part is, the more you move, the easier it becomes. Momentum builds naturally. It creates its own rhythm. You begin to feel more confident, more connected, more creative. You stop waiting for the perfect time and start using the time you have. You stop needing to know everything and start trusting that you will learn as you go. You stop fearing the unknown and start embracing the journey. This is the beauty of small inspired actions. They are not intimidating. They are empowering. They remind you that you are not stuck. You are in motion. And motion, when aligned with purpose, is the most powerful force of all. So ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that feels light, doable, and aligned? What is one small action I can take that brings me closer to the life I desire? Then do it. Do it without needing to know what comes next. Do it without needing to be perfect. Do it because every step counts. Every step declares who you are becoming. Every step creates momentum that cannot be undone. Remember, it is not about how fast you go. It is about how true you are to the energy you hold. That truth will guide you further than any strategy. That truth will reveal the path you are meant to walk. And it all begins with one step. Take that step today. Let it be small. Let it be honest. Let it be now. And let that single movement be the spark that activates your momentum and calls your desires into form. One of the most common obstacles on the path of manifestation is not a lack of desire, clarity, or even belief. It is the silent grip of procrastination and fear. You know what you want. You understand the principles of the law of attraction. You may have even felt the inner nudge to take a step. And yet something inside you hesitates. You wait. You stall. You tell yourself the timing isn't right, or that you're not ready. You find distractions, excuses, reasons to delay. This is resistance. And if you want to move forward, you must learn to recognize it, understand it, and move through it. Resistance often shows up as avoidance. It can be subtle, like checking your phone instead of starting the project you've been thinking about. Or it can be more obvious, like postponing a conversation that could open a new door. It often disguises itself as busyness, perfectionism, or even fatigue. But underneath it all is usually one thing: fear. Fear of failure. Fear of being seen. Fear of success. Fear that if you try and it doesn't work, you will be left with disappointment. These fears are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that you are expanding. When you step into a new level of possibility, your old identity resists. The subconscious mind wants safety, certainty, and familiarity. And anything new feels like a threat to that comfort zone. That's why even when a step feels exciting, it can also feel terrifying. You are not just taking action. You are stepping into a new version of yourself. And that requires courage. The first step to overcoming procrastination is awareness. You must become honest with yourself. Ask, where am I resisting? What am I avoiding? What story am I telling myself that keeps me from acting? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Shine light on it. Because when you acknowledge resistance, it begins to lose its power. The second step is to reconnect with your why. Why did you want this in the first place? What does your vision represent to you? What will change in your life once it becomes real? Remind yourself of the bigger picture. Fear thrives when you focus on the immediate discomfort of action. But when you focus on the long-term reward, motivation begins to rise. You remember that you are not acting just for the sake of doing. You are acting in service of your deepest desires. You are acting on behalf of your future self. And that self is worth fighting for. The third step is to take action anyway. Not in the absence of fear, but in the presence of it. You do not need to eliminate fear to move forward. You simply need to stop letting it make your decisions. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else matters more. Let that something be your vision. Let it be your freedom. Let it be your truth. Take the step, even if your hands are shaking. Make the call, even if your voice trembles. Write the post, send the email, share your idea, open the door. You will discover something powerful. Fear fades with movement. The moment you take action, your energy shifts. The fog begins to lift. Confidence starts to build. And you realize it was never as hard as it seemed. What felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What felt terrifying becomes empowering. Because now you are no longer trapped in hesitation. You are in momentum. And momentum is stronger than fear. The law of attraction responds not just to what you want, but to what you embody. And when you take action despite fear, you embody strength, trust, and commitment. You align with the version of you who does not wait for permission. You align with the version of you who leads. And that version of you is magnetic. That version of you opens doors. That version of you is already living the reality you are calling in. So the next time you feel yourself stalling, take a breath. Ask, what am I really afraid of? Is it failure or is it success? Is it judgment or is it change? Then remind yourself of what you want and why you want it. See the version of you who already has it. Feel what that life feels like, and then do one thing that moves you in that direction. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Action dissolves fear. Consistency dissolves resistance. And courage is built, not born. The more you act, the more your subconscious begins to adapt. The more you show up, the more your nervous system learns that it is safe to be visible, safe to be powerful, safe to take up space. And that safety becomes your new normal. That becomes your new identity. You no longer see action as pressure. You see it as power. You no longer see fear as a wall. You see it as a signal that expansion is near. And in that space, everything changes. You stop being the person who waits. You become the person who moves. And in movement, you meet miracles. You meet new opportunities, new relationships, new results. All because you were willing to act even when fear told you to hide. So let today be the day you stop waiting. Let today be the day you call your power back. Let today be the day you decide that the life you want is more important than the fear trying to stop you. because it is. And the moment you act, the universe acts with you. The moment you choose courage, the path clears. The moment you take the step, everything begins to shift. This is your moment. This is your choice. And everything you desire is waiting on the other side of your willingness to move through fear and into freedom. Taking inspired action does not mean rushing forward without direction. It means aligning your movement with intention, clarity, and inner guidance. And one of the most powerful ways to channel that energy is by creating a flexible, inspired action plan. This is not a rigid checklist. It is not about pushing yourself into deadlines or turning manifestation into a chore. Instead, it is about mapping your energy, choosing your direction, and creating a rhythm that supports your growth while leaving space for magic. Begin by setting aside a few minutes in a calm space. Breathe deeply. Feel your intention in your heart. Then ask yourself, what are 3 to 5 actions I feel inspired to take this week that align with the vision I am holding? These do not have to be massive or complicated. They can be small, simple, and meaningful. Perhaps it is reaching out to someone you have been thinking about. Maybe it is updating your resume, researching an opportunity, joining a community, or dedicating time to create. These actions should feel light, not heavy, exciting, not draining. They may stretch you slightly, but they should not create anxiety. That is the difference between aligned momentum and forced effort. Once you write down these 3 to 5 actions, the next step is to set flexible timeframes. Avoid strict deadlines that create stress. Instead, give yourself windows. Maybe you want to complete 2 actions by midweek and the rest by the weekend. This allows your energy to flow naturally. It removes guilt and pressure, which often block inspired action. When you create with flexibility, you honor the rhythm of your intuition. You remain connected to the flow of life rather than the rigidity of a calendar. And in that space, you are more likely to stay committed because the process feels like a partnership with your inner wisdom rather than a demand from your inner critic. As you begin to move through your plan, check in with yourself regularly. Each day or every few days, pause and reflect. Ask, which of these actions still feel aligned? Has any new inspiration come in? Is there anything I feel resistance toward that I need to explore or release? This practice of reflection keeps your plan alive. It turns your action list into a living document, not a static contract. It invites co-creation. And co-creation is the essence of the law of attraction. You are not creating in isolation. You are creating with the universe. And when you allow your plan to evolve, you remain open to surprises. You leave space for better timing, unexpected help, and creative insights. Your inspired action plan becomes a framework for manifestation that breathes with your growth. Remember that manifestation is not just about discipline. It is about devotion. Devotion to your vision, devotion to your highest self, and devotion to the journey, even when the destination feels far away. Creating an action plan rooted in inspiration rather than pressure teaches your nervous system that action is safe, that progress is joyful, that movement can come from ease, not just effort. It also builds self-trust. Each time you follow through on an inspired step, you reinforce the belief that you can be trusted to act on your own wisdom. And that belief changes everything. It makes you more decisive, more intuitive, more open to receive. Your plan is not just a tool for productivity. It is a ritual of embodiment. It brings your vision from the energetic into the physical. It turns potential into momentum, and momentum creates results. If at any point you notice that your plan feels stale or disconnected, revise it. Let go of what no longer feels aligned. Add new steps that reflect who you are becoming. This is not failure. This is refinement. And refinement is a key part of expansion. Think of your plan like a compass, not a cage. It guides your movement, but it does not control your path. It helps you stay focused, but it does not limit the ways in which your desires can unfold. This flexibility is essential because the law of attraction responds not only to what you do, but to how you feel while doing it. If your actions become heavy, you shift your frequency. But when your actions stay light, clear, and connected, you remain aligned with the energy of receiving. So treat your plan like a sacred practice. Set your actions with love. Move with presence. Reflect with honesty. And adjust with trust. Know that each step you take, no matter how small, carries the vibration of your future self. It is a message to the universe, a signal of readiness, a declaration of belief. Even if things do not unfold exactly as you imagined, trust that they are still unfolding in your favor. Trust that the process itself is shaping you, teaching you, strengthening you, preparing you to hold what you have asked for. Sometimes, the timing will surprise you. Sometimes, a small action will create a wave of opportunity. Other times, it will seem quiet at first. But even in the quiet, something is moving. Something is aligning. Something is becoming. And your willingness to stay in motion, to keep your energy active, to continue showing up, that is what makes the difference. The law of attraction is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing the right thing at the right time with the right energy. Your inspired action plan helps you find that rhythm. It keeps you grounded in movement. It keeps you connected to your truth, and it allows you to participate fully in the co-creation of your reality. So take a moment now. Grab a pen or open your notes. Tune in. Ask yourself, what 3 to 5 inspired actions am I ready to take this week? Write them down. Set your flexible time frames. And commit not to perfection, but to presence. Commit to your vision. Commit to yourself. And commit to the process. Because when you move with clarity and trust, the universe moves with you. And in that partnership, everything becomes possible. One of the most powerful, yet most challenging aspects of working with the law of attraction is trusting in divine timing. It is easy to become attached to the how and when of your manifestations. You may visualize a specific outcome, create your inspired action plan, and begin taking steps with excitement. But then days pass, weeks go by, maybe even months, and you start to wonder why things are not happening as quickly as you hoped. You start to question your efforts, your alignment, your path. This is the moment when most people give up. Not because their desire is not valid, not because the universe said no, but because they expected instant results and mistook a delay for a denial. Trusting in divine timing means understanding that the universe is always orchestrating the perfect sequence of events for your highest good. It means releasing your grip on timelines and outcomes. It means knowing that everything is unfolding behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. When you let go of the need to control how and when things will happen, you free yourself from anxiety. You stop resisting the process. And in that space of surrender, you create room for flow. You create room for miracles. You create room for your manifestation to arrive in a way that is better than you imagined. Taking inspired action does not mean forcing results. It means showing up, doing your part, and then trusting that your efforts are being received. It means doing the work while allowing the outcome to take shape in its own perfect time. This is not passive. It is deeply powerful. Because surrender is not weakness. It is faith in motion. You can act without attachment. You can move without grasping. You can give your best energy to the present moment without trying to predict the future. And when you do, you remain open. You remain aligned. You stay in the frequency of receiving. Many people fall into the trap of conditional energy. They say, I will feel abundant when the money comes. I will feel happy when the relationship arrives. I will feel successful when the goal is achieved. But this keeps you in a cycle of waiting. It delays your manifestation because it ties your emotional state to something external. The law of attraction works the other way around. You must become the energy of your desire before it arrives. You must feel the abundance now. You must live the joy now. You must walk with faith now. This is what it means to trust divine timing. It means letting your current vibration be rooted in trust rather than impatience. It means acting from inspiration rather than desperation. It means allowing the unfolding instead of demanding results. One of the most freeing realizations is that you do not need to know how everything will happen. You just need to keep showing up with clarity and alignment. You do not need to have a 5-year plan. You need to honor the next inspired step. You do not need to chase every opportunity. You need to say yes to the one that feels true. The rest will take care of itself. Trust that the universe knows the shortest path to your desire. Trust that every delay carries wisdom. Trust that every detour holds a lesson. And trust that when something is meant for you, no amount of waiting will keep it from arriving. It will come not when you demand it, but when you are fully aligned to receive it. Your job is not to force the manifestation into being. Your job is to become the version of you who naturally attracts it. And that version of you does not panic when things take time. That version of you is grounded in presence. That version of you radiates confidence. That version of you knows that good things unfold at the perfect moment, not a moment too soon, and not a moment too late. So as you move through your inspired action plan, let your actions be filled with joy. Let them be rooted in trust. Let them be expressions of who you are becoming, not tests of whether things are working. Release the timeline. Release the pressure. Release the need to monitor results. Instead, measure your success by your alignment. Measure your success by your energy. Measure your success by how often you act from love, truth, and inspiration. When you shift your focus from outcome to embodiment, everything changes. You stop waiting for proof and start living in the knowing. You stop asking when and start celebrating now. And in that celebration, you align with the frequency of receiving. Manifestation becomes natural. It becomes effortless. It becomes joyful. Because now you are not chasing your desires. You are living in harmony with them. You are allowing them to meet you in the moment that is most aligned. The law of attraction is not just about creating results. It is about becoming the version of you who is already living the life you asked for. And that becoming is a process. It takes time, growth, adjustment, and trust. So let yourself breathe. Let yourself be present. Let yourself move with flow. Say yes to what feels aligned. Say no to what drains you. Take action from inspiration and surrender the rest. Remind yourself daily that timing is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is alignment, action, and trust. The universe will handle the rest. Divine timing is always working in your favor. It may not follow your calendar, but it will always lead to your highest expansion. It may challenge your patience, but it will never abandon your truth. It may surprise you with the how, but it will always deliver the what when you are truly ready. So trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust the timing. And let your journey be a beautiful unfolding of everything you already are. Celebration is often the most overlooked step in the manifestation process, yet it carries some of the most transformative power. When you take inspired action, even if it feels small, it is essential to pause and acknowledge it. That moment of recognition tells your subconscious mind that what you are doing matters. It tells the universe that you are grateful, that you are aware, and that you are showing up fully. The law of attraction does not only respond to your thoughts and desires, it responds to your energy in the now. And celebration raises your energy instantly. It affirms progress. It creates momentum. It builds emotional resilience. When you celebrate small wins, you create a loop of positive reinforcement. You teach yourself that growth is happening, that movement is being made, that your effort is enough. In a world that often tells you to only celebrate the big, flashy achievements, this practice becomes a revolutionary act. Because true transformation is not made in grand moments. It is made in the daily decisions to stay aligned, to act on intuition, and to keep going when things are quiet. Every inspired action you take is a victory. Every step, no matter how tiny, is a signal that you are no longer standing still. So treat it that way. Write it down. Say it out loud. Tell a friend. Smile in the mirror. Clap your hands. Dance to your favorite song. Do something that honors the movement you just made. Because in doing so, you deepen your alignment with success. You anchor in the frequency of appreciation. And appreciation is a magnetic force. It draws more to appreciate. It opens the doors for more flow, more clarity, more opportunity. You are telling the universe, I noticed, I received, I am ready for more. This is how you build confidence over time. Not by waiting for a finish line, but by recognizing the journey as it unfolds. Each small win is a milestone. Each expression of gratitude is a signpost that you are on the right track. And over time, these small celebrations create a deep inner knowing that you are capable, that you are consistent, that you are aligned. When you celebrate the small, you stay emotionally connected to your vision. You avoid burnout. You avoid discouragement. You avoid the trap of always chasing the next big thing. Instead, you live inside the energy of fulfillment now. And that energy is what creates more to fulfill. Think of a garden. You do not wait until the tree is fully grown to feel joy. You celebrate when the seed sprouts. You smile when the leaves appear. You take pride in the process. You water with love. You notice the small signs of growth. And by doing so, you invite more life. Your manifestation journey is no different. Every action, every idea, every sign is part of your blooming. And it deserves recognition. It deserves joy. The law of attraction is amplified by joy. It is strengthened by gratitude. So when you celebrate each step, you increase your attraction power. You raise your vibration. And you tell the story of success even before it becomes visible to others. This is not about pretending things are perfect. It is about honoring what is working. It is about shifting your focus from lack to abundance, from what is missing to what is present. Because what you focus on expands. And when you focus on the good grows. Take time each day to reflect on what went right. What action did you take today that felt aligned? What idea flowed through you that felt exciting? What synchronicity showed up? What resistance did you overcome? What moment made you smile? These are not small things. They are the foundation of everything you are building. And when you celebrate them, you create emotional resilience. You create momentum. You remind yourself that progress is happening, even when results are still forming. You do not need to wait for the big breakthrough to feel good. Feeling good now is what brings the breakthrough. And feeling good comes from presence, from awareness, from celebrating what is already here. Even if it is one message sent, one idea explored, one decision made, it counts. It all counts. And the more you make it count, the more you will see evidence of your alignment. Celebration also shifts your relationship with action. Instead of seeing inspired action as something you have to do, it becomes something you get to do, a creative expression. a joyful dance, a sacred commitment. It becomes part of who you are, not just a strategy you follow. And that identity shift changes everything. You become someone who sees progress everywhere. You become someone who feels success in the process. You become someone who lives in the energy of already having. And that energy is irresistible. That energy is magnetic. That energy is what brings the unseen into the seen. So make it a practice. Create a ritual. And each day, by writing down one thing you did that felt aligned, one thing you are proud of, one thing that made you smile, let it be simple. Let it be honest. Let it be enough. Over time, these moments of celebration will add up. They will form a new narrative in your mind. A narrative of capability. A narrative of consistency. A narrative of worthiness. And that narrative will become your truth. You will no longer wait for permission to feel good. You will no longer wait for results to feel confident. You will be grounded in your power now. You will be aligned with your future now. And from that space, manifestation becomes natural. Because you are not just waiting for something to happen. You are living the energy of it happening already. You are becoming the person who celebrates the path, not just the destination. And that person is unstoppable. That person is magnetic. That person is already receiving. So celebrate today. Celebrate now. Celebrate you. You have now reached the final and most transformative part of your journey with the law of attraction. Through visualization, gratitude, alignment, belief, and emotional mastery, you have activated the energy of your desire. You have cultivated the vibration of receiving. And now, with inspired action, you are building the final bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the intention and the outcome, between the dream and the reality. Inspired action is not just the next step. It is the step that changes everything. It is the moment where thought becomes form. It is the proof to yourself and to the universe that you are not just waiting to receive, but choosing to become. Every time you follow your intuition and take one small step forward, you affirm your role as a conscious creator. You affirm your belief in the process. You affirm your readiness to live the life you have envisioned. This entire journey has been about remembering your power. You are not a passive observer in your life. You are the powerful force behind it. You are the one shaping it, step by step, thought by thought, action by action. You are not waiting for permission to live your purpose. You are living it now. You are not waiting for the stars to align. You are aligned within. The clarity you seek is already in you. The answers you seek are already inside. And the moment you choose to trust your inner guidance and take inspired action, you activate the timeline where your vision is not just possible but inevitable. So let this be your reminder. Let this be your spark. Let this be the moment you decide to move. Because now you have the full framework. You have the understanding. You have the emotional tools. You have the energetic awareness. And now you have the clarity on how to move in a way that is aligned, empowered, and effective. The law of attraction is not a waiting game. It is a dance between intention and inspired action. And you are ready to lead that dance. So here is your challenge. Commit to taking one inspired action this week that moves you closer to your biggest dream. Just one. Write it down, speak it out loud, and share it in the comments below. Declare your step. Let the world witness your intention. Let your energy ripple outward. Because when you take aligned action, the universe responds. When you step forward, doors open. When you move with faith, the path reveals itself. And it all begins with one choice. If you want to revisit the entire journey and reconnect with every step of this powerful process, be sure to check out the full playlist titled Mastering the Law of Attraction. The Complete Guide by Nyan Hayu Try. The link is in the description. Go back anytime and re-watch the parts that spoke to you. Let it be your anchor whenever you feel lost or stuck. Let it be your guide when you need to. Realign. And if this series has supported your transformation, if it has opened your heart, expanded your mind, or reminded you of your strength, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to continue sharing this message with the world and helping others awaken their potential. Every like helps spread light. Every comment creates connection. Every subscription builds a community of conscious creators who are reclaiming their power and designing their lives from within. You are not alone on this path. We are walking it together. One step, one breath, one action at a time. And this is just the beginning. The life you want is not far away. It is already in motion. It is already on its way to you. Your job is to stay open, stay inspired, and stay in action. Let this be the week you surprise yourself. Let this be the moment you say yes. Let this be the chapter where your vision begins to manifest into reality. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are ready. So take the step. Trust the process. Celebrate the journey. And never forget that the universe moves with you the moment you choose to move. Now, go make it real. Your dream is waiting.